Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Betrayal at Krondor. Alright, I think I figured out what I need to do, what I missed. We need to just rest until there. And let me zoom out again. Okay, so we need it to be nighttime. There are apparently 2 nighttime groups. Let's go ahead and cast our Starlight spell. And how are you actually doing? 3 out of 58. It's not very good. Okay, use a couple of those. I got tons of these, so why not? That should be enough, I hope. Alright, I think that these are just going to be this is just going to be an ambush. I don't think I'll actually see them on the map. I need to get up here. Goroth stopped and stared off into the distance. After several seconds of contemplation, he turned and began to speak. The hair on the back of my neck is telling me that something is out there, something evil. If we don't turn back now, I would suggest that we at least proceed with great caution. And yet Owen's scouting ability has increased. I guess, to a certain extent, it's kind of a... Owen is like, oh, so that's what I was feeling, kind of thing. I did see something that someone said that if your stealth is too high, you'll miss them, but I don't know, I got it seemingly okay. And I should have bookmarked, but oh well. Alright, these guys are going to be nasty. There are 4 of them, so let's just run up and get into your face. You are going to hit him for a lot of damage. Owen. Alright, let's go with Skin of the Dragon. It's 20. Let's go with 10 for now. Not sure how much would really be good, but let's get you up here. I'd kind of like to get you in between these two, because I don't think you're gonna do that. He did! I'm shocked. Skin of the Dragon on you. Run up there. Go for the one that's farther away. And Owen could go for Skin of the Dragon on you, but I think that this is a perfect time to flame cast right on you. I just realized that I've forgotten to set some things. Let's go ahead and do that. Defense, melee. Defense melee. Defense casting. Alright, Gorath, keep going after this one. Zip on down there and go after that one. Okay, let's go with low-level ones just to do extra damage. Okay, one is down. Excellent. Okay, that is a miss on you. Up there. That is a miss on you. Keep going with Flame Cast. See, I kind of assumed that Skin of the Dragon actually just gave you armor. Like, it increased your defense kind of thing, reduced the amount of damage that you took, but it looks like it just makes you invulnerable for a time, which is, to a certain extent, what Hocho's Haven does. It just looks like this one lasts longer. I do not know what they did to him there, but that doesn't look good. And I think he might be paralyzed. He's out of it. Took her out. Okay, I can't quite get all the way up to you. I can with you. Just keep singeing them. Getting close, so you can't cast a spell. Oh, she must be injured, too injured to do anything at this point. Or, like, not too injured to do anything, but her speed must be going down substantially. Hi! Nice. There she goes. The creatures had vanished. Okay, now there is a way to test how, and I got no stats out of that either, which is really annoying. I mean, I suppose what I could do is just click on, like, defense for a time until it gets maxed out. Like, I suppose with Owen, just going with accuracy casting until he gets up to 100% might be a good idea. Okay, I think these were ones that I had missed. I didn't realize that they only showed up at night. Now there is a way for us to check how we're doing here. Innkeeper. 10 sovereigns for the night. It's really bad, but it's more reasonable. So now that's how you know that you've taken out all of them. It would seem the common folk have taken Prince Arutha's laws to heart. Doors only open from midday to midnight. Guess it's past midnight, huh? Alright, let's get onto the road and zip on down there to Sildon. Let's go ahead and bookmark just to be on the safe side. In we go. Alright, 30 golden sovereigns. Yep. Within minutes of weighing anchor, the Mist Devil sped across the narrow channel, which separated the Isle of Iortis from the mainland. After an eternity of the distant horizon seeming to grow no closer, they eventually docked with the help of a river pilot. Is there anything else? Nope. Well, let's go ahead and talk. James motioned to the figure across the room. The woman nodded, then made her way across the wooden floor until she was standing before them.
I've been expecting you for many days. My auguries have shown strangers that walk in the favor of Iortis. I assume that you must have completed your rites.
It had very little to do with a ritual, High Priestess, and much more to do with slain spirits.
You sound somewhat distressed. Be assured that you have slain no one, but have freed those from this world that were unnaturally bound here. The Swimmer of the Deeps is pleased and has allowed I may grant you a boon. So long as you all shall live, any of you that come and petition before me shall be healed of anything that ails you. Such is the nature of Iortis' favor. Have any of you the need of healing?
Why, yes. I think some of our injuries may be beyond my ability to heal. What do we need to do?
You will find that your ills already heal as we speak. You shall feel fully restored by the time the Mist Devil returns you to Sildon.
Okay. Let's go ahead and exit. Is there anything here that I want? I could use some more adventuring. Let's go ahead and get some more. back to having enough food, and I think that's good. Alright. So anytime, I mean, it'll cost us 30 gold to get out there, but we can just heal for free, get healed for free there. It's kind of a little bit out of the way, but... completely healed up, yep. Our characters are probably going to complain about being tired, although maybe not. Alright, well, let's make our way up to Romney. Yeah, you'll rest when you're dead. Well, you'll actually rest once it's nighttime. But yeah, you can see that we've started to lose some stamina, and because we're out on the road, we don't actually get any of that back, which is unfortunate. Now, that stuff for poisoning food, I have realized that I could actually use that coming up, so we may need to run back and get that. Not sure why I couldn't sleep, but we'll figure that out in a moment. Alright, bookmark. Let's see, where exactly am I? I need to zoom out on the map again. We're pretty close to Romney. I think it's probably the guy on the map who will say something to us when we get there. That's preventing us from resting. However, I feel like I did miss something. Let me let's see. Let's go ahead and get off the road. Is there something behind? Yeah, there is. There's something behind the house that I missed. Okay, they go up white, but come down yellow and white. Eggle. Eggle again. Eggs. Eggs. Alright, we've got a rapier. So we can get more information out of that. We got a number 3 blessed type with plus 15. 25 strength, 20 skill for thrust, 10 strength, minus 5 skill for swing, racial mod elf. Let's go ahead and grab that. A scroll of the Fetters of Rhyme, which is a pretty good spell. And 100 gold. Don't mind if I do. Go ahead and use that scroll, learn that spell. Alright, so this this weapon, I think it's going to be substantially better than our Keshian Tapir. Maybe not substantially, but a bit better. 2010, 45 minus 5. 25, 20, 10 minus 5. But it's got a bless 3. Guess it's not quite... Yeah, this has a lot of damage from the swing. But I don't use the swing that much anyway. And a bit better, a bit more damage, and a fair bit more accuracy from the thrust is very good. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and equip that. Probably should have marked my weapon craft, but oh well. And the Fetters of Rhyme is a very good spell as well. What was this building again? It's an inn, right. We have been there already, though. That's a bookmark again. The way ahead was blocked. From among the men who were guarding the bridge, a man stepped forward to confront them. The city of Romney is sealed at the moment, all but the citizens and those who are members of the Glazers Guild. Do you have one of our seals? Yes, why is the guild in charge of the city? Constabulary were all killed in the uprising by the River Pullers Guild, and no one else in any authority was left alive to administrate. When I was approached to take command, I decided that I would use my men in the guild to help maintain order until such a time the Duke was able to arrive from his estates. Makes some sort of sense. Where can we find the King's men from Bastira? I'll be holding up in the Black Sheep Tavern for a celebration of some kind. I believe I heard one of them say they found something they were looking for. I'm not sure what it's all about. I think that may mean good news for us as well. Good night, Reeve. We're on into Romney. The path turned. Following the river-like course of the small dusty road, James saw that it flowed around several small hills, descending eventually towards a large town. Romney, he said. Do you think we should go in for supplies? And, you know, completing the chapter? Sure! So we can look at the well. We've got a tavern. We've got a shop. We can enter here. Known as the City of Guilds, Romney's cobblestone streets were knotted, a labyrinth of closes and wines, often leading nowhere or into blind alleys populated by disreputable-looking drinking establishments. Only the dark main street called the Murky Mile seemed at all inviting to visitors to the strange town. Should not be an apostrophe, and it should be visitors. Well, I guess to the strange town would work. Although I feel like seemed at all inviting to visitors of the strange town would be better, but I don't know. Let's hit up the shop. Port Exchange. The lay of the goods store was comfortably familiar, arranged in such a common-sense fashion that it took only a few moments for James to locate the items which interested him. Okay. Prices seem okay. How much for that? 66 sovereigns. Yeah. Let's go ahead and sell that. Don't think I have anything else that I want to sell. Didn't think they'd want that, unfortunately. Let's check the well. The water was fresh. Slurping down several handfuls drawn from the well, James splashed his face and arms as well for good measure. When at last he felt fully refreshed, he moved away from the bucket so that Gorth could do the same. But not Owen. What about the tavern? Well, seems bad. No, even the loot is broken. How will I bard? There is even a head on a pole over there. Even as they threw the door open, James bit back the impulse to vomit. Kingdom soldiers lay scattered about the room, each lying in his own coagulating pool of blood. Nowhere did there appear to be anyone untouched by murderous hands. How did the town not notice this? Chapter 3, The Spyglass and the Spider. The coppery smell of burning flesh filled the air. Embers leapt from the funeral pyre into the growing dusk, joined the winking points of light that would later become a blaze of crystalline stars. Around the flames, villagers gathered in dark clots, their faces overwritten with blank, unreadable expressions. Like moths to a candle, they drifted near and mourned and thought and sniffed. They had come to watch the flames feed. Gorath's fathomless green eyes nictitated in the firelight as he turned and gazed at Owen, who flinched uncomfortably at his side. "There could be no uneasier sleep than a warrior murdered in his cups," Gorath said, his voice only slightly louder than the spitting hiss of scorched bone. "They nipped at the heels of the Nighthawks, be certain of that." "So you think we're getting close?" Owen asked. Gorath began to speak, but his words congealed on his lips as his eyes locked with the burning gaze of Senior James. "I've had it with your mysterious half-answers, Mordell. Now, for the sake of your continued good health, I want to hear some explanations fast why you were here in Romney 6 months before you made your appearance at the Inclindel Pass." "The only explanation, Senor, is that you are mistaken. I have never been south of the Inclindel. While we carried the dead from the Black Sheep Tavern, a tavern boy informed me that a man answering to your description called on 3 unwholesomes dressed in black, all of whom wore the trademark silver rings of the Nighthawks. He heard them refer to the Moradel as Gorath. It seems that this Moradel paid a sizable sum of money to those Nighthawks before departing, though perhaps to arrange the death of a company of the king's soldiers. He may well have paid a king's death, but I know nothing of it. I realize it may impress little upon you, but Gorath is a passing common name in the Northlands, and oft as not your kingdom fellow folk have mistaken me for an elf. The barkeep was likely deceived by enemies of mine. If I had cause to mislead you or your prince, I would have found a far less convoluted means of confusing the royal sanity. Look elsewhere for your enemies, James. While we may not be friends, I mean you no harm. I shall look where I wish until you are no longer my responsibility. We may not be able to strike at the Nighthawk stronghold, but if we can locate it, we may still be able to get inside and find the information Prince Arutha needs. The Nighthawks will shun Romney for a time. However bold they may be in their murderous nights, they flee when daylight breaks. No one walks without leaving footprints, and these men are no different. However skilled they may be at assassination, they have never been any good at covering their tracks. Let me see those things you found in the tavern." "Here they are. They are here." "Good. Those are our footprints. Of all the items we found on the dead company, both those items seemed conspicuously out of place, and may be related in some way to our elusive murderers. We begin our hunt for the Nighthawks with a spider and a spyglass." Chapter 3, The Spyglass and the Spider. Solve the mystery of the spyglass and the spider. Okay, well, I kind of thought that maybe going in here would trigger that, but apparently not, so let's enter here instead. They were shown into a room. Seated cross-legged in a large wooden chair, Duke Romney was staring at a large lumpy form which was heaped on top of the meeting table, his youngish features obviously clouded by some issue of great concern. "What's under the sheet?" James asked. "Otho Chandler," the Duke replied grimly. "They found him in the alleyway and have dropped him off here until the undertakers can come for him." "Murdered?" The Duke sighed. "Fortunately, it's no great mystery. He was fighting with the leader of the Millers Guild and got cornered by 3 mercenaries. We have them all in custody. Things have gotten so bad here that we're regularly building a bonfire to burn the bodies from this idiot private war between the guilds." "Any way we can be of assistance?" James asked, taking a glance beneath the sheet at the obese corpse. "We may be in the area for some while." Drumming his fingers on the table, the Duke stared intently at them. "Actually, you may be of service to me," he said after a thoughtful moment. "If I can convince Arlie Steelsoul to come into negotiations with the rest of the guilds, it's possible I can break this deadlock between them. My father always said that the guilds would follow Mitchell Waylander and Arlie Steelsoul whichever way they go, but unfortunately Mitchell is too intertwined in the origins of this problem for me to use him effectively." "Where do we fit into this?" "You're neutral," he replied, gaining his feet. "You were born outside of Romney, and you have no connections to the guilds. I am right about that, aren't I?" Quickly an anxious look flickered in his eyes, but quickly vanished as he noticed that James was shaking his head. Excellent. My point being, as the Duke, the guilds might view a private meeting between myself and Arlie as unfair negotiation. They have to believe that he is coming to the negotiation table of his own free will, and believe me, they will be watching my movements for a while. So you want us to find this Arlie Steelsoul fellow and convince him to come and negotiate with the rest of the guilds, is that it? Just so, the Duke replied. You will find that he has a small house to the west and south of here. I would advise you, though, he is a paranoid man. He keeps himself well guarded, and there may be some danger involved. I will reward you for your efforts, of course. It's all right, James said with a smile, heading towards the door. We're used to danger. Well, they sure have cleaned up this tavern. The Black Sheep Tavern. Within, the accommodations were humble. Several splintering tables had been jammed into the common room and arranged to accommodate perhaps 25 men, 30 if hunger pressed them. Greasy stains covered benches and walls, evidence of wild days past. Apparently all of the blood is gone, though. Let's visit the bar. 46 gold? What madness is this? It's true sheer madness. That's what it is. Anyway, I just wanted to bard. Well, we're going to do more than bard, but 104 sovereigns. Very nice. The man scowled, apparently far more intent on something going on across the common room. He seemed uninterested in James's repeated attempts to chat. At last he glanced up and gave an exasperated sigh. What exactly do you want? Just a little friendly talk, James said with a companionable smile. News, gossip, a song perhaps? Well, go and find a bloody jongleur then and leave me be. We've seen that person before. Hello! The gambler shook his head. I'm afraid I have come to the end of my funds, he said. Perhaps when I have recouped my losses we can play again. Okay, and you seem very conspicuous. More so by the fact that we have not seen your form before in one of these. Hello? James motioned to the figure across the room. The boy walked over to join them. He stood before them, eyes downcast. Alright, I'll be honest, I thought that was a woman. Are you going to take me away? Why should we want to do that? Because when I broke things, Master always told me that someone would come and take me away someplace bad and someplace dark where they would never feed me and I'd never see the light of day. I knew when all those people got killed in here that someone would come for me and take me to the bad place. You don't have anything to be afraid of, Jason. You didn't kill those men. It's not your fault. Master says anybody that stays under our roof is our responsibility, and I was here when they were killed. That means it was my fault. Then you saw the murders? No, but they came in and told me to leave or they'd hurt me real bad. They didn't tell me what they were going to do. What did the men who told you to leave look like? They were big and they had birds on their chests, like eagles. They smelled funny, like sometimes the sailors from Kesh smell like flowers. Hawks on their chests. That at least confirms the Nighthawk's involvement. Do you know anything about a spider made of silver or a brass spyglass that one of the men that were killed might have carried? It's very important. Think hard. I don't know anything about the spider, but I remember that one of the king's men had a brass tube with little pieces of glass at the ends of it, and I could see things that were far away with it. He said that he and one of the other men had brought it back from Silden. Did he say where in Silden he got it? No, just in Silden. Can you think of anything else? Did anyone else come into the Black Sheep before the murderers? The carrying man brought in some wine from the upside-down keg for the soldiers. Told me it was sent special, but besides that, I can't think of anything. Thanks, Jason. We may be back later to ask you more questions, so don't go anywhere. Okay. I'll be honest, it was more the the rather swooping neckline of the outfit that made me think that. Alright, so prices weren't this bad before the chapter started, I will point out. That is pretty expensive. That is all pretty expensive. I am curious about something, though. Wow, he does not want to haggle. I have a feeling that they're set up to not haggle. Okay, well, stuff has gotten really expensive. Let's go ahead and leave Romney. Party's barding ability has increased. Fantastic. Alright, so we have picked up a silver spider. With the exception of its carnelian twin-tinged fangs, the miniature spider glinted a deadly silver hue. On its underbelly, a long, shallow groove bisected its length and passed between its fangs, a groove through which a sword blade or an arrow point could be easily passed. And brass spyglass, a relatively simple device. The spyglass was a cylinder of brass fitted with a large glass lens at one end, and another, smaller lens at the opposite end. While spyglasses were used to spot distant objects, James suspected this one had been rendered useless by the cracks in the larger lens. However, undaunted by the spyglass's cracked lenses, James raised the nautical tool to his eye and looked through it. While visually he could see nothing, it was almost as if he saw something beyond the world before him. By some facility, he was able to see objects that were hidden from his view. So we get a mark down there. So yes, this item has a function of being able to see some sort of distant objects. Alright, at this point, I need to give these items to some people. I actually need to kind of want to get this fixed up a little bit. Barding is up to 46. Didn't actually mean to use it on that one. Whatever. I think... Let's see. James halted. As if seeing the silver spider for the first time, he held it up for inspection and shook his head. I've got to get my mind on the business at hand, he muttered. Next I'll try putting jam on my sword and eating toast laced with silverthorn. I believe... Flipping the ornate miniature over, James slid his sword blade through the groove which had been incised into the spider's belly. While there was no fluid visible on in the small channel, his blade now dripped green venom. It is now poisoned. Hey, Gorath, here you go. I think it has unlimited poison uses, but I'm not positive. Alright, so, we have some new tools and some new things that we need to do. Since we are in a new chapter, we need to figure out what is going on with this spyglass and this spider. We need to find the murderers of all of the king's guards. And just in general, do the various side quests and exploration in this chapter. It is a new chapter, so I can go everywhere and do more barding. I will do that off-screen, but not right away. And I believe that we are going to want to head north now and check out some stuff up there. I will double-check to see exactly if the game is going to call us to go up there right away or not. I can't remember. But we also have a little thing to do, see if we can solve this this guild war thing going on in Romney. That will all be next time. See you then, everyone.